The world demands your conformity, but you feel the rebellion burning inside. It's not loud, it's not flashy, it's a quiet fire that refuses to bend. You've always known you're built different, wired to reject the script. That's why you're here. Welcome to Sigma Male Community, the sanctuary for men who walk their own path, unapologetically, with stoic resolve and unrelenting self-mastery. Today we're tearing down the veil to reveal the Sigma Male Blacklist, 10 brutal truths he'll never say out loud. These are the unspoken codes of the Sigma, the principles carved in silence that define his power, his independence, his edge. This isn't about fitting in, it's about thriving outside the system, mastering yourself and leaving the noise behind. Get ready to confront truths that will challenge how you see yourself in the world. Stay locked in because these truths don't just inform, they transform. 1. Your approval is emotional static. I tune out. The Sigma male doesn't live for your applause or cower under your judgment. He's not scanning the room for nods of approval or crafting his life to fit your expectations. His worth isn't a poll to be voted on. It's a self-contained fortress built in the crucible of his own trials. This indifference isn't arrogance, it's liberation. He's severed the chains of external validation, choosing instead the unyielding clarity of his own code. When he walks into a space, he carries an unshakable certainty. Your opinion is just noise and he's tuned it out. This is the stoic art of self-possession, where the chaos of others' expectations becomes irrelevant, like static on a dead frequency. This internal compass isn't just a tool, it's his shield. Trends, fads, social pressures, they're fleeting shadows that hold no sway over him. His choices stem from a deep well of conviction, not the shallow waters of public opinion. When you see him move with that quiet, unbothered aura, it's not detachment. It's the glow of a man who's traded the hunger for approval for the power of self-certitude. Your praise or criticism is just data, not destiny. He doesn't need your validation to know his worth. He's already waited in solitude. Consider the man who walks away from a heated argument, not because he's weak, but because he knows the fight isn't worth his energy. He's not swayed by the crowd's roar or the critic's sneer. His stoic discipline lets him see through the illusion of social currency, likes, clout, status. These are traps for the insecure. He's learned that true strength lies in defining himself, moment by moment, without needing a mirror held up by strangers. This mindset is a rebellion against a world obsessed with external metrics. The Sigma's power is in his ability to stand alone, to choose his path without permission. He's not defined for the sake of it. He's free because he's learned that seeking approval is a leash and he cut it long ago. That unshakable calm you sense? It's the result of a man who knows his value isn't up for debate. It's a truth he lives, not one he speaks. 2. Underestimation is my camouflage, your fatal flaw. The Sigma thrives in the shadows, letting others misjudge his quiet presence as weakness. He's not here to flex or posture. He's content to let you underestimate him. That miscalculation is your mistake, not his. By blending into the background, he becomes a ghost in plain sight, observing, analyzing, and calculating while you're distracted by louder egos. His silence isn't submission, it's strategy. Your dismissal is the cloak he wears, and he wields it with lethal precision. This is the art of silent dominance, rooted in stoic restraint. He knows that being seen as a threat paints a target on your back. By encouraging your condescension, he gains the upper hand, freedom to move undetected. While you're busy sizing up the obvious players, he's already 3 steps ahead, mapping the terrain of the game you didn't even know was being played. When the moment strikes, his execution is swift, leaving your shattered assumptions in the dust. Picture a chessboard where the pawn you ignored becomes the checkmate. The Sigma has lived this moment countless times. He's the colleague you overlooked who delivers a project that redefines the game. He's the quiet stranger who, when the stakes are highest, reveals a depth you never suspected. His victories don't come with fanfare, they arrive with the quiet inevitability of a tide. Your underestimation wasn't an insult, it was his invitation to outmaneuver you. Stoicism teaches him to value clarity over ego. He doesn't need to announce his strength because he knows its weight. By embracing the camouflage of being underestimated, he preserves his energy for what matters, executing his vision with precision. The world's obsession with loud displays of power is its blind spot, and his greatest advantage. When you finally see him for what he is, it's too late. The game is over and he's already won. 3. Solitude isn't my wound, it's my forge. The Sigma doesn't retreat to solitude. He seeks it like a warrior seeks the battlefield. Where others see loneliness, he sees a sacred space to sharpen his mind and temper his soul. Crowds are chaos, diluting his focus with their clamor. In silence, he finds clarity, a forge where his resilience, purpose and identity are hammered into something unbreakable. This isn't escape, it's deliberate, stoic creation. He's not hiding from the world, he's building a better one within himself. Solitude is his laboratory, where distractions dissolve and truth emerges. A weekend alone isn't a punishment, it's a ritual. A solo journey across continents isn't isolation, it's exploration of the self. The world's addiction to constant connection is a weakness he refuses to share. In the quiet, he discovers a strength that others, tethered to noise, will never know. Imagine a man standing alone on a cliff's edge, not lost but found. The wind carries no judgment, the stars demand no performance. This is where the Sigma thrives, free from the distorting mirrors of society. Stoicism teaches him that true power comes from self-sufficiency, from needing nothing beyond his own mind to navigate life's storms. His solitude isn't a void, it's a crucible where he becomes whole. This radical independence is a rebellion against a culture that equates solitude with failure. The Sigma knows better. He's learned that the world's noise drowns out the signal of truth. By embracing the forge of solitude, he crafts a life of purpose and resilience, unswayed by the fleeting pressures of the crowd. His peace is his power and he'll protect it at all costs. For, your throne is a cage I refuse. The Sigma sees through the illusion of power that comes with titles and followers. Leadership, as the world defines it, is a gilded cage, shackled by expectations, politics, and the need to perform for the mob. He doesn't crave the spotlight, he dismantles its pull. His strength lies in mastering himself, not commanding others. Influence, not authority, is his currency, and he wields it like a shadow, shaping outcomes without being chained to the stage. He's not climbing corporate ladders or rallying crowds. Those are games for men who need validation. The Sigma builds his own empire, brick by brick, outside the system's rules. His impact is felt, not announced, seismic because it bypasses the predictable structures of power. He moves through life like a force of nature, reshaping the landscape without ever sitting on a throne. His freedom is his crown and he'll never trade it for chains. Think of the entrepreneur who turns down a corner office to build something on his own terms. Or the man who walks away from a toxic group, not because he can't lead but because he won't be caged. Stoicism fuels this clarity. He knows that true control is over the self, not others. The throne promises dominance but delivers servitude. The Sigma chooses sovereignty, a path where his autonomy is non-negotiable. This rejection of external power is his ultimate strength. By refusing the cage, he creates a life of unmatched freedom. He doesn't need to rule others to shape the world. His actions, rooted in stoic discipline, ripple outward with quiet, undeniable force. The Sigma's leadership isn't loud, but it's transformative, proving that real power lies in being unchained. 5. Social masks are transparent and I won't wear one. The Sigma sees the social game for what it is, a theater of facades. The fake laughs, the calculated compliments, the opinions shaped to fit the room, he sees through them all. This isn't cynicism, it's clarity born of stoic observation. The world's obsession with performance is exhausting, and he refuses to play along. Authenticity isn't just his preference, it's his rebellion against a culture that thrives on pretense. He won't wear the mask of conformity no matter the cost. Fake friendships, flattery, or social posturing. He'd rather be silent. His words carry weight because they're rooted in truth, not strategy. This raw presence unnerves people. It's a mirror they can't ignore. The Sigma's refusal to perform isn't arrogance. It's the courage to stand naked in a world obsessed with costumes. Picture a man at a networking event, surrounded by handshakes and hollow smiles. He stands apart, not aloof but unscripted. His silence isn't shyness, it's a rejection of the game. Stoicism teaches him that integrity is worth more than acceptance. By refusing to play the role, he becomes a living challenge to those hiding behind their masks, a reminder that truth is more powerful than any performance. This commitment to authenticity is his edge. He doesn't need to charm or manipulate to make an impact, his presence alone is enough. The Sigma knows that being disliked for who he is beats being loved for who he isn't. In a world of carefully curated lies, his unfiltered existence is a radical act of defiance, a stoic stand for a life lived on his own terms. 6. The battlefield is a distraction. I exit. When egos clash and drama erupts, the Sigma doesn't engage, he disappears. Not out of weakness, but from a stoic understanding that most battles are traps, draining energy for no gain. Alphas roar, betas scramble, but the Sigma walks away untouched. His power lies in his refusal to play a rigged game. Disengagement isn't retreat, it's a calculated move to preserve his strength for what truly matters. This vanishing act is his leverage. While others exhaust themselves in petty power struggles, he's already redirecting his focus to his own mission. The argument you thought you won? He didn't care to fight. The drama you tried to pull him into? He's already gone. Stoicism teaches him to conserve his energy, to choose his battles with ruthless precision. Real power isn't in winning the fight, it's in knowing which fights are beneath you. Imagine a heated boardroom debate, voices rising, egos flaring. The Sigma sits quietly, then leaves without a word. Later, while others are still licking their wounds, he's executed a plan that renders their noise irrelevant. This is the stoic art of strategic withdrawal, walking away not because you can't win, but because the fight itself is a distraction from your purpose. The Sigma's strength is his ability to exit the stage without fanfare. He doesn't owe you an explanation or a performance. By refusing to engage, he reclaims his time, his peace, and his power. This discipline, rooted in stoic clarity, lets him build a life free from the chaos of others' battles, proving that the ultimate victory is living on your own terms. 7. I file betrayals, not grievances. The Sigma sees every slight, every betrayal with crystal clarity. He notices the subtle jab, the calculated exclusion, the flicker of contempt. But he doesn't react, he records. His silence isn't ignorance, it's intelligence gathering. Stoicism teaches him to observe without being swayed, to catalog without being consumed. When you cross him, you don't get a fight, you get distance, cold and final. This isn't about holding grudges, it's about protecting his peace. He doesn't waste energy on public confrontations or petty revenge. Instead, he adjusts his boundaries, silently closing the door on those who violate his trust. By the time you feel the chill, you're already on the outside, access revoked. His response isn't emotional, it's surgical, rooted in the Stoic principle of controlling what you can, your own space. Think of a friend who betrays a confidence. The Sigma doesn't lash out, he steps back, recalibrates, and moves on. The betrayal becomes a lesson, not a wound. He uses it to sharpen his instincts, to refine his circle. Stoicism gives him the discipline to turn pain into progress, ensuring no one gets close enough to strike twice. His silence isn't weakness, it's the sound of a fortress being fortified. This approach is a masterclass in emotional control. The Sigma doesn't let betrayal derail him, he lets it inform him. Every lesson strengthens his resolve, making his boundaries impenetrable. In a world that thrives on drama, his quiet, calculated response is a stoic rebellion, a refusal to let others' actions dictate his peace. 8. Peace is non-negotiable territory. Trespassers exiled. The Sigma's inner world is a fortress, and he guards it with ruthless precision. If your presence brings chaos, negativity, or manipulation, you're gone. No debate, no second chances. This isn't coldness, it's the Stoic principle of prioritizing self-preservation over social obligation. His peace is his most valuable asset, and he'll protect it at all costs, even if it means cutting ties with those closest to him. He's learned that toxic energy is a thief, stealing clarity and strength. Emotional vampires, chronic complainers, manipulators, they're identified and removed with surgical efficiency. The Sigma doesn't negotiate with threats to his equilibrium. He'd rather walk alone than let someone's chaos infiltrate his sanctum. Stoicism teaches him that peace isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, the foundation of a life well lived. Picture a man who ends a draining relationship without a word of explanation. Not out of cruelty, but because he knows his mental clarity is non-negotiable. He's not swayed by guilt or social pressure. He's guided by the Stoic truth that his inner world is his to protect. The world may call it ruthless, he calls it survival. His solitude is a choice, a deliberate act of preserving what makes him whole. This commitment to peace is his power. By exiling those who disrupt it, he creates a life of profound calm, free from the noise of toxic connections. The Sigma knows that true strength lies in what you refuse to tolerate. His boundaries aren't walls, they're declarations of sovereignty, rooted in the Stoic wisdom that peace is worth more than popularity. 9. I am the ecosystem. Relationships are optional features. The Sigma is a self-contained universe, built on years of cultivating inner strength. He doesn't need relationships to complete him. His foundation is solid, his identity whole. When he connects, it's a choice, not a necessity. This independence, rooted in Stoic self-sufficiency, makes his presence magnetic. His relationships are powerful precisely because they're born of desire, not desperation. This self-containment is his freedom. He's loyal when he chooses to be, but the moment a connection becomes toxic, he withdraws without hesitation. He doesn't argue or plead, he reclaims his space with quiet finality. Stoicism teaches him that his worth isn't tied to others' presence. His ability to walk away cleanly without looking back is what makes his loyalty so profound when he offers it. Imagine a man who loves deeply but never clings. His partner feels his strength not in grand gestures, but in the quiet certainty that he's there by choice. If that choice is betrayed, he doesn't fight to hold on, he lets go because his ecosystem doesn't depend on anyone else. This Stoic clarity makes his connections rare and powerful, a gift given freely, never out of need. The Sigma's independence is a rebellion against a world that equates connection with survival. He knows his strength lies in being whole unto himself. Relationships enhance his life, but they don't define it. This truth, grounded in Stoic discipline, gives him the power to love without chains and to walk away without regret. 10. Sovereignty is my only non-negotiable. The Sigma is untamed, unbound by the world's attempts to control him. Contracts, expectations, guilt trips, they're all chains he refuses to wear. His loyalty is to himself, to the internal code that guides his every move. This sovereignty, rooted in Stoic self-mastery, makes him immune to manipulation. He'll walk away from wealth, status, or love if the price is his freedom. This independence terrifies a world built on control. He doesn't rebel loudly, he simply exists outside the system's reach. Corporate ladders, social hierarchies, relational traps, they're illusions he sees through. Stoicism gives him the clarity to recognize the strings of manipulation and the strength to cut them. His life is a declaration. He answers only to himself. Picture a man offered a dream job that demands his soul. He walks away not because he's reckless, but because he knows no reward is worth his autonomy. The world calls it madness, he calls it freedom. His sovereignty isn't just a preference, it's the core of his being, a Stoic principle that makes him untouchable. This unyielding commitment to self-rule is his greatest strength. He doesn't need to dominate others to feel powerful, his power lies in owning himself. The Sigma's existence is a quiet revolution, proving that true freedom comes from living by your own laws, unswayed by the world's attempts to cage you. 11. Execution speaks louder than declaration. The Sigma doesn't waste breath on promises or proclamations. His power is in his actions, not his words. While others shout their plans to the world, he's already moving, building, achieving. His results are his manifesto, delivered with the quiet force of inevitability. Stoicism teaches him that talk is cheap, execution is the only currency that matters. He doesn't need to convince you of his worth, his outcomes do the talking. The project finished, the goal achieved, the life built, these are his arguments, unassailable and final. While the world debates and postures, he's crossed the finish line, leaving doubters to choke on their own noise. His focus is relentless, his discipline stoic, his results deafening. Think of the entrepreneur who builds a business while others are still pitching ideas. Or the man who transforms his body in silence, letting the mirror speak for him. The Sigma knows that declarations are distractions. Real power is in doing, not saying. Stoic wisdom guides his focus, turning intention into reality without fanfare. This commitment to execution is his edge. He doesn't seek applause for his plans. He lets his achievements silence the skeptics. In a world obsessed with performative noise, the Sigma's quiet action is a rebellion. His life is proof that the loudest statement is a promise kept, a result delivered, a truth lived without a single word spoken. You've just walked through the Sigma male blacklist, 10 brutal truths that cut through the noise and expose the raw power of living on your own terms. This is what Sigma male community is about, arming you with the clarity, strength, and stoic wisdom to master yourself and carve your own path. These truths aren't just ideas, they're a call to action. Reflect on them. Apply them. Let them fuel your next move, whether it's walking away from chaos, fortifying your peace, or executing your vision in silence. If this resonated, hit that like button to show the world you're part of this movement. Drop a comment. Share which truth hit hardest or what you're doing to live unapologetically. Share this video with the men in your life who need to hear it, and if you're subscribed, turn on notifications so you never miss the wisdom we're dropping here. Sigma Male Community isn't just a channel, it's a brotherhood of men committed to excellence, independence, and unshakable resolve. Stay sharp, stay sovereign, and we'll see you in the next one.